All right, at this point, you should be learning about areas of sectors of a circle. So if you've ever played like Trivia Pursuit, you'll see that the little pie pieces, or you ever eaten a piece of pie or a piece of pizza, you're taking a sector of a circle and eating it, essentially. So we're going to calculate the area of those sectors today. So please remember that a full circle is 360 degrees. And the area of a full circle is pi r squared. If you have half a circle, it's half pi r squared. Fourth of a circle is 1/4 pi r squared. And here, if you have any sector length, right? So in a pizza, it'd be 1/8 of the pizza. You basically take your, hold on. All right, so you take whatever your central angle is, divided by 360, so n divided by 360, and times that by pi r squared. And that'll give you the degrees. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some examples here. So if we wanted to find the area of a sector with a central angle of 40 degrees, so right now you should be thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to do 40 divided by 360. That'll give me the portion of the circle that makes up my sector. And then the radius is 12. All right, well, that should be right here in the formula. And when you type that in your calculator, remember to hit the division first, hit enter, and then hit times pi. For pi, you can use 3.14 if you'd like, times 12 squared, and you should come out with the answer of 50.3. Practice putting it in your calculator so that you can make sure you know how to do it on the test. Second situation, it says an arc length of 30 centimeters and a radius of 10. So in this case, when they're giving you arc length as opposed to central angle, you're going to put the 30 over 2 pi times 10. Because this is 2 pi r is circumference. So you're using the circumference of the circle to find out what portion of the outside of the circle, so you know the 30 degrees maybe is right here, and that's of the whole circumference, and then you're multiplying that by pi r squared because that's the area of the entire circle. All right, so let's look at some example problems. This should be on page 21. So for all of these, you're given the central angle. So for all of these, you're going to be using this formula right here to complete this. And this is obviously on page 20. So let's look. First thing we're going to do is we know that the area of a sector equals n divided by 360 times pi r squared. Okay, so let's label our stuff. This is n and this is r. So it's going to be 90 over 360 equals, times pi times 17 squared. And when you get your calculator out and type it in, $90 divided by 360, enter, times 3.14 times 17 squared. You end up with 226.9. So it's about 227. All right, now we're looking at a 270 degree angle. So this would be n, and this is r. So this would be 270 divided by 360 times pi times r squared. And in this case, I'm replacing r with 9. So 270 divided by 360 times 3.14 times 9 squared. And I get 190.8. So you're going to go ahead and finish the rest of the problems on page 21, practicing using this formula. Okay, the last thing that I'm going to show you about circles are circle equations. So this is on page 22. Okay, so for circle equations, we've got two situations. We could have the center of our circle at the origin, or we could have the center of our circle at a point outside of the origin. Okay, so just look at the difference between the two. If you're at the origin, obviously the points are 0, 0 is where you're starting. But if you're not, you can derive the point right from the formula. So you can see here that the point is at 2, -1. That's the center point of the circle. And that would come right out of the formula where you see -2 comes out as +2, -1 or +1 comes out as +1 comes out of the formula as -1, and that's where your formula is. And then you can see the radius is 3. Well, how do you get 3 from 9? You just simply take the square root. And the same here. There was nothing added or subtracted to the x and y, so that's how I knew it was at 0, 0. And then I'm just going to take the square root of the radius, and that brings me to 3. So this is what the formula for a circle looks like, or the equation. It's very similar to when you had like y equals mx plus b. Right? This is your slope, and this is your intercept, the y-intercept. Well, for a circle, this is what we call the center, and this is the radius. And that's all you need to draw your circle. So let's talk about what this looks like as you're practicing. So first thing I'm going to do is identify my center, and then I've got to figure out r. So -2, +1, this is x, so my x coordinate is going to be 2, and my y coordinate is -1. It comes out opposite, and then my radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. So I'm going to plot 2, -1, and then I count 4 in every direction. And then I do my best to make a circle. And that's how you plot a circle. And that's not a very good circle. So once again, the first thing you do is find your center. In this case, my center is -4, -4. And then I find my radius. In this case, my radius is 1. So -4, -4 is here, and then I'm just going to go 1 up in all the directions like a compass, and then do my best to draw a circle. So this equation tells me where my circle is located and what my radius is. And again, my radius is here in all directions is 4, and here my radius is 1. All right, so let's see. Now you will have these problems to practice graphing. Please notice, like for this situation here, you just have x squared. So you should know that that is 0. So your x coordinate is going to be 0. And because you have +3, your y coordinate is going to be -3. So if there's nothing there, that just tells you the coordinate point is 0. All right, the last thing I'm going to show you is when you're given the center and the radius, you can easily write your equations. So you're going to start with x minus blank squared plus y minus blank squared equals, and in this case it's going to be 2 squared, the radius squared, okay? So what do I fill in here? Well, it's going to be y minus 2, x minus 2, y minus -11, and this double negative becomes a positive. So what you should notice is the center of your circle, in the equation it's exactly opposite what it was as a coordinate point. And then 2 squared is 4. So my final equation would be y minus 2 squared. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying y for x. Y plus 11 squared equals 4. All right, let's look at number 8. Once again, you're going to write your generic equation, which is x minus something squared plus y minus something squared equals r squared. So what do I fill in here? I fill in here negative 4, so it's positive, which is exactly opposite what it was as a coordinate point. And here I'm going to put in a negative 2, which makes it positive 2. Again, opposite. And here I'm going to fill in a 7. So my final equation is x plus 4 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 49. And that's pretty much all the basics of circles. So when you are done with this, you can spend your time working on your EOC practice or practicing for the test.